I had always believed that trust was the cornerstone of any real relationship, but that belief crumbled fast. I'm 28 years old, and up until recently, I thought things were going well. Good job, decent apartment, and I was in a committed relationship with my girlfriend. Let's call her C. We'd been together for almost 3 years, and while no relationship is flawless, I genuinely thought we had something real. I wasn't expecting perfection, just honesty and effort. I gave her both. At least, I thought I did. But something felt off recently. You know that weird sixth sense? The silent alarm that rings in the background when something's wrong but no one's saying it? That had been buzzing for weeks. C started acting strange, super guarded with her phone, always keeping it face down, quick to close apps when I walked by. And suddenly, she had tons of work trips and girls' weekends, out of nowhere. Whenever I asked questions, even gently, she got defensive. I didn't want to be the controlling or suspicious boyfriend, so I gave her space and the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I was just in my head. Maybe it was stress. Still, the feeling wouldn't go away. We shared a joint savings account, something we set up together when we decided to start putting money aside for a future house. That account had always been stable, so I figured if anything sketchy was going on, it might show up there. And one day, it did. A withdrawal, $300, vanished in a single transaction. No text, no heads up, just gone. I didn't want to freak out, so I brought it up casually. I asked, "Hey babe, what's up with this $3,300 charge? You buy something major?" She didn't even flinch, didn't look up from her phone. "Oh yeah, I booked a girls' trip with M&T," she said, like she just bought new shoes. I stared at her, trying to hide the lump in my throat. "A girls' trip? You didn't mention that." She rolled her eyes, visibly annoyed. "I didn't think I had to give you a play-by-play of everything I do," she said coldly. That stung. I wasn't asking for constant updates, just basic communication. Especially when we were saving for a house. 3,000 is a lot, see, I reminded her. And we've been working towards something important here. She scoffed. "Relax, we'll make it back. It's not like it's all gone forever." The way she dismissed it made my blood boil. But I swallowed it. Maybe I was overreacting, I thought. Maybe she just needed a break. But still, I couldn't sleep that night. Something didn't sit right. So, for the first time ever, I did something I never imagined doing. I went through her phone while she was in the shower. I didn't feel proud. I felt sick. But the moment I opened her messages, I knew. There it was. A string of texts, emails, bookings, confirmations. She wasn't going on a girls' trip. She was going on vacation with her ex-flights, hotel rooms, itinerary. This wasn't spontaneous. It had been in the works for weeks. My hand shook. My stomach dropped. It wasn't just a trip, it was betrayal. My mind raced. The money, the secrecy, the lies. She looked me in the eyes every day and pretended everything was fine. I thought about confronting her right then, but something inside me stopped. No, that wasn't enough. She needed to feel what I was feeling. So I waited. I acted normal. I kissed her goodbye the morning she left. "Have fun," I told her. She smiled, totally unaware that I knew everything. And the moment the door shut behind her, I turned on my laptop and froze our joint bank account. She wasn't getting a dime more. Not on my watch. I didn't think about consequences or if it was petty. I was hurting, and I wanted her to feel it too. If she thought she could play me, take our savings, and vacation with her ex like nothing happened, she was about to get a rude awakening. A few hours later, my phone buzzed. It was her. I answered, calm and collected. "What the hell did you do?" she screamed. I leaned back in my chair, trying to contain the storm brewing inside me. I asked, "What are you talking about?" Her voice cracked, my cards getting declined everywhere. "What did you do to the account?" I replied with zero emotion. "Oh, I froze it." Seemed like the bare minimum after finding out you're on vacation with your ex. I kept my voice calm, freezing her in silence. I could hear only her breathing on the line until she finally snapped, __. "It's not what you think." I cut her off before she could continue. "Spare me, see. I read everything, the messages, the emails. You've been organizing this for weeks. You lied. She fumbled through excuses, stammering out half-finished sentences, but nothing she could say would repair what she'd destroyed. I didn't let her finish. Why? I asked, more forcefully than intended. Why would you do this? If you wanted to be with him, why not just leave me? She whispered, I didn't want to hurt you. And I laughed, cold, humorless, bitter. The sound startled even me. Didn't want to hurt me? So you chose to lie, take our savings, and run off with your ex instead? That was the kinder choice. There was a pause, and just like that, her tone flipped from guilty to defensive. Well, maybe if you weren't so obsessed with saving for that dumb house, I wouldn't have felt trapped. You were always thinking about what's next, never about me. I blinked in disbelief. Was she seriously trying to pin this on me now? You're blaming me for you sneaking around? I asked, stunned. You could have talked to me, see? You could have said anything instead of lying to my face. She sighed, exasperated, like I was the unreasonable one. You just don't understand. I needed space, time to figure things out with him. You needed space with your ex? I said, raising my voice. How does that even make sense? She snapped, he's just a friend. You're blowing this way out of proportion. I clenched my jaw, trying to hold it together. Just a friend? That's why you booked flights, a hotel, and lied about it for weeks. She didn't answer. I could almost hear her mind racing, trying to come up with anything that didn't make her look like the villain. But I was done listening. We're done, I said finally. Wait, what? You're breaking up with me over this. She sounded genuinely shocked, which pissed me off even more. You're surprised? I asked. You used our money to fly off with your ex behind my back. What did you think was going to happen? Her voice cracked again, desperation rising. You can't just leave me stranded here. Not my problem, I replied coldly. You made your choices. Now you can live with them. I ended the call before she could say another word. The days that followed were a whirlwind. I packed my things, moved out, got my name off the lease, and canceled everything that had me tied to her utilities, joint accounts, streaming services. I blocked her on every platform, phone, email, social media. I wasn't leaving any door open. I was done. Weeks passed, and I started to hear rumors. Apparently, she was telling people I'd abandoned her, left her broke and alone for no reason. Playing the victim like she always did. The first time I heard it from a mutual friend, I just laughed. Classic C, always ready with a version of the truth that kept her hands clean. I wasn't going to let her rewrite history. So I shared my side, the deception, the ex, the money. Some were shocked, others not so much. They knew her well enough to believe it. Most took my side, though a few still clung to her sob story. Fine. Let them. I had no time left for her or anyone still defending her. The damage was done, and I was moving forward. What hurt most wasn't losing her, it was realizing that the person I'd loved never actually existed. She had worn a perfect mask for years, and I'd been too blinded by what I wanted to see to notice. But eventually, people show you who they are. You just have to be willing to believe them. And when that moment comes, you can either keep hoping they'll change or do what I did and walk away. I haven't heard much since. Last I knew, she was couch surfing at a friend's place because she couldn't afford rent after I left. Word was she tried getting refunds from the trip, but everything was non-refundable. I guess that's what happens when you throw $3,000 at a fantasy. Part of me wonders if her ex even stayed with her, or if he bailed too, leaving her stranded in her own mess. But honestly, I don't care anymore. What I've learned through this whole ordeal is that you can't control other people's behavior. You can only control your response. And when someone lies, cheats, and manipulates, you have to be ready to walk, not later, not after one more chance right then. Because holding on only hurts more. Sure, I'm angry I wasted years. But I'm angrier at myself for ignoring what was right in front of me. The truth had been screaming at me long before I read those messages. I just didn't want to accept it. I kept telling myself she was better than this, that she'd never cross that line. But she did. People don't change just because you love them. And sometimes, the healthiest thing you can do is cut them off completely.